first game, they were playing like individuals.
Exactly.
And so good adjustment from Uprising Academy. And Bermuda on the attack going to be coming out on this Pharah Tracer.
Hey.
They're not going to be looking at a Bastion on the other side, so we're definitely going to be seeing this look from them. Let's see what Guru has on that projectile. And Ultimate Web has on this Tracer.
We've seen some incredible transformations, quote unquote, even though they're originally DPS players. But Dalton on Tracer was a standout last week, and so Ultimate Web has the ability to make something happen here with that British Time Traveler. Guru staying alive, just chunk it down some shields, putting in some rocket damage, now ticking up towards 54% towards that barrage. So EMP into barrage is a big one, or I guess Pizza Demon could just find heads.
That is some nasty Omnic on Omnic action, if I say so myself, coming from the Zenyatas. Bermuda is going to go ahead and, you know, try to bring their things back. The D-Mech onto Punk is definitely going to help their cause on this attack. But without Umche, it's not going to last very long, but at least they're going to use the Rocket Barrage to get a couple kills here. I don't know if it's a good investment, because it's definitely an at least I got a kill with the Rocket Barrage too coming back with the kill. Uprising Academy also going to be going down because of Ice, and so Bermuda slowly but surely in this fight, coming back one by one and end up taking the first point.
That's some pretty good stuff from Bermuda. We were just praising Uprising Academy for playing together, but Bermuda playing together by playing a little bit apart. You're running a very DPS heavy comp. You don't really have any point presence or death balling ability to speak of, but you have a ton of damage. It's going to be almost nothing that a single member of the Uprising Academy GOATS comp can do against a pharmacy in the air. So keep pushing, keep applying that pressure, and eventually Uprising Academy are going to run out of defensible positions.
And so Bermuda looking to see if they have done just that. Make sure that Uprising Academy have very few defensive opportunities, because Bermuda want to come in with that EMP, and I don't know a better type of snowballing ult than the EMP is. Decod and Punk going to be the ones that get hacked, but that definitely could have been better. And I want you guys to notice where Uprising Academy was. No matter where Shu EMP'd in that situation, he was never going to get more than 2 or 3 people.
Exactly. Uprising Academy reading the cards very well, playing split apart, but it doesn't seem to matter. Now Transcendence tempoing things for Bermuda. They have all the resources in the world to set up camp here on this point and try and cap the entire thing in a single go.
But Uprising Academy are going to go ahead and use that Zubyata onto the objective, and it's going to stall it out just a little bit, but it takes so long to get there. By the time you get onto the objective, you're going to die anyway, and so Decod is on the Wrecking Ball. Punk's going to be able to get that self-destruct off, but again, this is all just crossing your T's, dotting your I's for Bermuda right now. They will most likely grab this last point. Here it is. Uprising Academy lose 2 fights in the map. Not the map so far. A little misleading there. Lose 2 fights, and then they lose 2 points.
Yeah, so that's a map completion for Bermuda, though. We've seen, you know, more experienced teams not be able to complete that same thing. And while, you know, to us it seemed like Bermuda, you know, it was totally set, man. Zenyatta, what can that do against the 6-man, or rather 5 at that time, of Bermuda? Well, again, if we go back to history, we have seen teams give up hella advantage on point B just by relaxing a little bit too much. Bermuda, some good stuff right there, backing off just a little bit, and then again, focusing down. What are we going to do here? Are we going to try and go for like a 5-man grab? No need. Just grab the 2 that we have right now, confirm those kills, and then we'll see.
Did you know that if you shoot this Murloc, it makes Murloc sounds?
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
I'm kind to Murlocs, so I don't know.
You're like, oh man, make Murlocs playable is all I have to say. Uprising Academy is looking pretty shoddy on that defense, and so on this attack, they definitely want to match at least some of that time. I think if they end with 3 minutes or more, I think that's a good victory for them, but let's not count out that 5-minute time bank, because we've definitely seen Assault go 6-6, and in order to get that, you have to get very, very fast point A takes, and then a snowball into B. Unfortunately for Uprising Academy, Bermuda had the EMP, and while they separated themselves out, either on purpose or maybe on accident, to make sure that the EMP didn't find value, the person that it did hack did go down. So while the idea was in principle to not have everyone get hacked, there was no support for the people who did.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to give up those couple of kills, but Uprising Academy now with the ball in their court on their own attacking phase. They could put up a blazing speed here, but because it is a GOATS composition, unless you find some kind of very lucky pick early on due to a mispositioning, it's unlikely for you to see that snowball come through, and unfortunately, DCOD was the first.
It actually looked like they were making tie-dye in that certain situation. You know, you put like the colors on the spinning
all
plate,
swirl.
right? And
Yeah.
like it was all those colors swirling it together. It's a nice melting pot for these two teams, but in the end, Uprising Academy going to have to try to come back onto the subjective against Bermuda, who have an Earthshatter. DCOD 60% away, even though that Fire Strike does get there. The Earthshatter is going to get through onto Uprising Academy. 3 members are on the ground. Klaus will be the first to fall, but at least for Uprising Academy, there's a grab online and there's going to be a Transcendence, and that's something that you're very well prepared for if you've been playing GOATS this whole time.
Exactly. Bermuda, they traded back and forth, and because of that, Uprising Academy trying to push their advantage here. Oh no, but Dino was so incredibly low. Guru able to finish him off at a distance, and these are the kind of staggered kills that we can't see from Uprising Academy. Y'all better than this. Play together, right? Because now Bermuda have a chance to regroup.
And so the Graviton Surge is going to ding the bell, but is it going to ding them back to spawn? No, it will not. Uprising Academy do survive. Guru's Graviton Surge on it, the objective. So Bermuda's going to have to find another way to get this defense going because Uprising Academy have that Earthshatter Transcendence of their own, and this now they're going to use tempo-wise. That's exactly what they're going to do. Uprising Academy now have made themselves onto the objective, and Bermuda has to cut through a ton more HP, and they're actually doing just that. DCOD taken so very low. Bermuda getting the sound barrier off just in time. Uptate is still alive somehow. DCOD, though, finishing it off for Uprising Academy on their attack. They didn't take it as quickly as Bermuda, but at least they do end up taking it. They want to take E as quickly as possible. They've got Rally. They will have Grab eventually. They've got what they need to do it.
I was pretty lucky that Pizza Demon didn't have the trans at the ready. Otherwise, Bermuda, who had been matching Uprising Academy, right? Ultimate for ultimate. Guru! Guru! Oh no! I mean, I don't know what he's the guru of, but maybe not well-placed grabs. That was, yikes. Oh no. That Uprising Academy, they got 3, Bermuda got 1. That's a pretty simple math equation right here. 1 tick already on the table for Uprising Academy. A grab in spawn. Bermuda getting stuck right there. DMAC comes in from Shu.
Oh, this is looking bad for Bermuda, all because Guru served them up an opportunity to come back onto this objective and snowball. We were just talking about the fact that Uprising Academy had the ability already, but when you feed a grab and yourself, it's gonna come just as fast for Uprising Academy. I didn't see the final time there, but I'm pretty sure they're super close together. I think Bermuda's gonna attack next.
Hey, look at that. 2 seconds. You are a numbers guy. But we unfortunately weren't able to see what happened right there with Guru and his grab. But that's absolutely, Bermuda had no right.
It's a head scratcher.
Yeah, that's definitely a thonker right there. Because I was about to say, the good news is Bermuda still have Grav and Trans. Those are 2 ultimates that we see teams hold with on point B time and time again. But now Bermuda have to look forward past that last fight into innings. They will be attacking first. So
let's see Guru's play after that too, because one thing I always love seeing is that a lot of times when you do make it into Contenders, the players get, you know, a little bit more grizzled. They don't let those kinds of things, you know, dying and feeding a grab and losing the, you know, potentially, you know, giving up that second point because of it, which ended up happening, bothers these guys way too much. But sometimes emotions run high, especially in this map. In this matchup between these 2 teams, Bermuda have an opportunity to bring Uprising Academy down to the same same record as them. I don't think in terms of map win-loss, I think Bermuda would still maintain that bottom side position, but they have hope here. They're tied 1-1, but that is not how you win that game.
No, it's up. I mean, here I'm going to give the credit to Guru. Maybe he thought he saw a solo grab opportunity, and with that, you know, cut Uprising Academy down a member and make their next defense more defensible. So, always possible. But we are going to see that Hammond, once again, as the words leave my mouth, though, Bermuda swap back onto the GOATS composition. That is the thing with running a lot of DPS. It is more risky. It's up to individuals to make those plays, to get value from those ultimates. It's a little less of a consistent and reliable effort. But because of this GOATS composition that Bermuda are now showing, it'll take them much longer to get to those crucial ultimates that could end the fight, especially with Dino on this Ana. He can shut down a push with a single bio nade.
Or a sleep dart as well, but the bio grenade is already used on himself, so that's going to be down for a little while longer. Actually, not that much longer, as he's going to get the kill on to Upte, stopping Bermuda in their tracks. It looks like Bermuda's still investing a little bit into this, as Bermuda does find another kill, but the attacking team is going to get their 6th member a little bit faster than the defensive team here on Assault, so there is like a 2 to 5 second window where Bermuda comes back in a 65.
Absolutely, and Umte very close to that shatter as well. Uprising Academy right now can only try and shoot through those little footholds.
Here we go, the Nano is going to be going down on to D-Cod. He's going to get that kill onto Pizza, and they're going to get that Earth Shatter as well. See how much damage the Earth Shatter did with the Nano? Good stuff coming from Uprising Academy. One thing that you really want on this Anna Reinhardt is you want that Nano to come out before anything from Bermuda does, because if you're able to just get those initial picks, you need one swing and a Fire Strike for a squishy, right? You just take that tempo, you force Bermuda into another fight.
Just saying, very excited for Amplification Matrix and Fire Strike. But that's neither here nor there. Uprising Academy still working up to some more of those ultimates. Ice very close to that grab. Cloud will have the rally. Probably going to pop it sooner rather than later as Bermuda trying to make their tedious way onto the point.
And so they have the ults to do it. They're actually ahead of Uprising Academy at the moment, as Uprising Academy did invest a ton of their ultimates into the last fight. He does come up on his sound barrier. Rally now going to be out from Ultima Web. Klaus has already his Earth Shatter is going to be going down, and 4 members of Uprising Academy are on the ground, but not Swimmer, so the Sound Barrier will be saving everybody. Will Punk be able to use that self-destruct? Yes, he has to. OG getting that first kill, though, means that this is a 5v4 now for Uprising Academy, but as I say that, Bermuda going to be coming back in at this fight. This is much better for them on the attacking side than Uprising Academy is on the defense. Nino using that Nano because he's not going to be able to use it at any other point, and it's got to be what they need for right now, because that most likely is going to be a switch coming into the second point. Bermuda, though, gonna be cleaning this up. Let's see if Uprising Academy can stall any longer. Anna is not the greatest stall champion in the world. Bermuda, though, do take this, get their 3rd point.
Hilarious ragdoll. Anna falls onto the point like a dry leaf. But you do want that trance, so Dino's gonna swap onto the Zen.
And so Uprising Academy have an Earth Shatter, but that's about it for this defense. Bermuda have that self-destruct, but really nothing else. Sound Barrier might be actually a good idea to use to get onto the objective if they want, depending on how they want to work with their ultimates. Are they going to wait for Guru to have a Graviton Surge, or are they just going to go ahead and go? Uprising Academy, this is actually a really good time for Bermuda to possibly throw that self-destruct out, just because they're 100% away. Earth Shatter going to be going through from D-Cod, and this is actually all that they're going to need, even though OG is going to have that Sound Barrier. Any kills coming from the defensive side on the second point are so much more valuable than any trades that Bermuda's going to have on the attacking side. There is a minute and 53 seconds left, though. Shu going to go ahead and throw himself off. I still think just throwing the bomb in that situation might have just been a good opportunity, but they're going to go ahead and decide to wait for these ultimates. Uprising Academy going to have some of their own, but Bermuda looking good.
Yeah, Shu could have been saving that bomb for kind of a what-if situation when you only need a tick, throw the bomb, zone them away from the point. But as it is, Bermuda now will have bomb combo ready to try and engage here. But they've given so much time to Uprising Academy that Trance and Grab Bomb are available across the aisle as well, and that's kind of one of those give and takes. Trades do not work for the attackers here. It must be a clean wipe or else they will not get point percentage.
I'm taking some nice Fire Strike, getting some good ult charge and some damage onto Uprising Academy. Oh, and Klaus is isolated right now. Are they going to be able to get that kill? As of right now, they're not getting Klaus off of this map. He was by himself from 3 members of Bermuda, but they're choosing to put their focus on the objective. What do you think of that choice?
Pretty interesting, given that the grab got nothing but a free unwilling hug for Uprising Academy, who weathered that with, not much more than just a nod. Hey,
Style
cool.
and grace, right?
Yeah, exactly. Bermuda now, they still have bomb, but no longer the grab to go for that setup. Shatter bomb is always an option, but Bermuda do seem to fall apart on those engagements. When they're actually in the fight, brawling it out, target prioritization is great, but entering those fights without losing a member, much more difficult.
They're just going to come out early for Uprising Academy, and it's going to be a great move by them. They're making sure that Bermuda's not going to be able to sniff the second objective, and you're seeing all of Bermuda's ults come out because they have to, but things are getting interesting. D-Cod not onto the point. Really good ally barrier coming from Bermuda. She's going to get smacked. There are 2 different fights happening right now between these teams. Bermuda's actually winning the one on the objective. Uprising Academy won the one off of it, but the objective, it might get taken. All they need is 1 tick to make this a little bit competitive, but they haven't quite gotten there yet. They're very close to the Earth Shatter from Bermuda actually pushing Uprising Academy back to the spawn, and Uprising Academy look like running around like chickens with their head cut off in that last fight. You saw how long Decod was outside for, and now because of the separate fight and Shu switching over just to run back here because 76 has got those fast little legs to come back onto the point. Bermuda find themselves at a great position to complete this map and get 4 points. Uprising Academy, in my opinion, kind of served that up to them, just like how Bermuda served up that second point cap to Uprising Academy. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B in that situation, but Uprising Academy, man. It's super cool that you were winning that fight outside, but there was also an objective. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, really unlucky. I mean, column A, column B, what we end up with is a whole lot of holes in those defenses. Uprising Academy, you know, a shatter into a Zarya bubble. You know, you're optimistic. You think that you're winning the fight, but as well as Uprising Academy was counting ults, they forgot to count bodies. Bermuda had a diva at the ready, and, you know, hey, a diva, you're kind of, you know, every time you go up against a diva, you're really, you know, playing against two heroes. If she gets in another mech, you got to do the whole rigmarole again, right? And Shu had a guarantee. You toss the bomb out there, Baby Diva almost died, but he gets back in mech, and at that time, Pizza Demon's already back, Umte's already back, and like you said, Boop, even a tick would have been something Bermuda was happy with. But as it stands, they got all 4 points here after 2 rounds, 2 map completions, and they had no right to win that.
Who was with Decod outside? I'm trying to remember real quick. I'm blanking on it. There's a second member of Uprising Academy by the health pack on the top left, and
it wasn't Iced. Iced was on the point.
Yeah, I think Punk already died. Anyway, so Decod, you know, is not with his team. Shields aren't available. It takes so long for Reinhardt to walk back, even from that position. That's something that they should analyze coming back with their game tape, but that is in the past now, and we're going to be looking at the present. 5 minutes on the clock for Uprising Academy and their attack. They really want to get this one really, really quickly. They don't want to draw in this situation, and so Uprising Academy looking for a good point A. They're going to go ahead with the tried and true, which is that GOATS composition. Let's see if it's going to be able to work out for them.
Klaus, 30% up to that rally here. Guru, though, 35 to himself, and even better, Bermuda. Wow, cleaning house right here. Start, you know, with a trickle, just turns into a waterfall, and that's, you know, 30 seconds, almost a minute off the clock for Uprising Academy.
They're going to be massively ahead in ultimate charge after that, and so looking around, yes, the Zenyatta and the Reinhardt do have a pretty large advantage, but Uprising Academy do find themselves evening it up, especially with Klaus on that break. That's exactly what they're going to maybe need to make it onto the point. A lot of the cooldowns have already been used on Decod.
Very difficult, though, because Guru's only 30% away from his grab, while Ice still miles behind. So Bermuda, they can't just cede this space, let Uprising Academy through this choke, grab him.
They're going to go ahead and give them that space. The grab's not going to come until a little bit later. Transcendence is there as well, actually holding on to the grab. Ice, at least for this Transcendence, maybe they're tracking this, is only at 50% for Uprising Academy. So Bermuda looking very, very, very strong right now.
That if they were counting ultimates, that was a safe trance. You know that the shatter, you know that the grab is probably not going to be coming your way. Bermuda still have ultimates to continue to hold this choke. Uprising Academy, they were so strong in their earlier rounds here. Now, running out of steam just a little. However, Punk has come in clutch for them in the past. A big bomb could be in our future.
And so you're seeing the ball right now is a little bit better for Uprising Academy, but not anymore. 2 members have been isolated. Down they are now coming from Bermuda to keep them alive because 2 members have been isolated there. So we're just kind of seeing a brawl right now, and everything will reset after these Transcendence sides. Self-destruct now coming in from Shu. Does find Swimmer, so that's a 65 now for Bermuda, and they're going to turn that into a team fight win. Uprising Academy have lost about 2 minutes off the clock at this point. This is not the pace they wanted.
No, because now you're hamstringing yourself. Even if you get point A, you're barely going to have any time for point B. So Uprising Academy would really love for Punk to have a miracle bomb. Decod dropped the counter shatter right there, which stopped Bermuda's momentum, but he's been using his ultimates as a stopgap measure rather than an initiation. Now he's booped away from his team.
Hey, an actual tactical repositioning charge there. That was on purpose, actually helped them out. Repton Surge is there, going to be countered by both the Earth Shatter and the Transcendence. Only probably needed 1, but Uprising Academy are going to be losing this out once again. Yikes.
Feels bad, and
Ooh.
Guru just, you know.
Doing a little bit of squatting. You know, you can't ever forget leg day.
You have to stay warm, man, and it's not just about your fingers, right? Working the quads, the hammies, keeping it tight. But Guru may not want to squat too much. He really would hope for yet another grab here, because Uprising Academy, because of those lost fights, they have eventually banked up an ultimate advantage. 3 on the side for Uprising Academy. Dino now will have the trance, too.
So it took them 3 minutes to get there. Let's see if they're going to take all that investment and use it. Oh! Oh
Okay.
my goodness. I believe that was at least a 5-man shatter, but in the industry,
We call that
a fatty shatty. And so Uprising Academy are victimized by the fatty shatty of Umte. This is starting to look really dire now for Uprising Academy.
This is very dangerous. You only have scant 70 seconds left to not only get point A, but think about point B. So you can't just go in there and blow all of your ultimates, of which Uprising Academy only have 1. Must be a very measured push here, slowly tear Bermuda apart.
And so the fight is going to start with Bermuda getting that first kill. Uprising Academy haven't even been able to make it through this choke the last 2 fights. And when they do, they get siphoned off and picked off. Bermuda playing this so well right now. Uprising Academy only have a Transcendence, 44 seconds left.
It is almost not even just Uprising Academy's fault that they have not been able to get any traction here. Bermuda have been rebuffing them time and time again. And now Dino's Transcendence still the only ultimate Uprising Academy hold against the 5 checkmark of Bermuda. However, we've seen teams give it all up in the last seconds of a fight before. Bermuda must hang on.
Oh, and they actually do get that first pick. Uprising Academy have a 6v5, but Bermuda are going to go ahead and launch every single ultimate except for that Transcendence at once. And Shu going to get his second quad kill of today. Bermuda keeping Uprising Academy from sniffing this first point. You're seeing Wrecking Ball and Klaus now on that Tracer. Are they going to have enough time? Peacock will be able to start overtime. Is this the stall that they need? He's actually still alive. Will he be able to rejoin the team? No, he will not, as Bermuda find themselves with a 6v5. Uprising Academy now in desperation mode. Ice will have a Graviton Surge. It needs to be everything that they ever dreamed and wanted, but there aren't a lot of members of Uprising Academy to get through the damage, especially through the Transcendence coming from Pizza Team in Bermuda. This is their fight to lose. They're 100% in the driver's seat. They just have to clean it up, and these younger teams have had a hard time with those cleanup kills, but it looks like Bermuda is starting to find those. Decod has found himself back in it this fight. They have been able to take him down. Overtime wick is over. We find Bermuda on match point and potentially their first series win ever in Contenders, and it will be up against Uprising Academy, who need to find some magic on Junkertown.
Again, these teams 1-4 for Uprising Academy, 0-5 for Bermuda. We are this close to finding those records evened up. And Shu together, right? We talk about 2Ks, 3Ks over here. Shu has killed a team and a third by himself. 8 kills with those bombs. And that's just mad value. Here's the thing. Your supports can be the best in the universe, right? Never a miss trans, never a miss sound barrier. Again, Swimmer, Dino playing well, to their credit. But if the tip of the spear is more like, I don't know, a toilet paper roll, just trying to absorb that damage, but you get torn apart on every single engagement, you're just, right? You're never going to be able to get anything going there. And I'm not really sure, exactly where the resource allocation fell apart. But when we talk about goats, we often say, is it Zarya goats or is it Reinhardt goats?
Who are you enabling, right?
Exactly. Who are you going to be giving these resources to make them stronger than their counterpart, right? Because again, mirror compositions, there's no inherent advantage to any of the heroes that you're running. It has to be a choice by the team to make Decod the battering ram for Uprising Academy. You just come in here swinging, take Bermuda by surprise. Umte's dead before he hits the ground. Now we have an opening, right? And that opportunity was just never happening for Uprising Academy.
I think at this point, I'd rather see them kind of go the way, Chicken Contendi's record, not super great right now,
Yeah.
but I think that playstyle actually has a place in this world of Overwatch, and I'd love to see a little bit more of that, maybe not as much as that gig, aggression, right? Remember, he only speaks with his name, just like a Pokemon.
Like a
right?
Pokemon,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Gig. But anyway, wonderful Reinhardt, but I kind of want that a little bit more for Uprising Academy. I feel like they're kind of trying to split the difference of that hyper aggression and that patience that we see from Gladiator's Legion, and they're not living on either world, really.
Yeah, you got 2 feet. Each one of them is in a different boat, and they're pulling apart. right?
Yikes.
You're going to fall in the water. Decod showed that he can be that aggressive Ryan, right? Think to how Uprising Academy held Bermuda on King's Row, right? It was Decod making those decisions, whether it was him as an individual or the team just deciding that, hey, this is what we're going to do, or even him making that decision as an individual and then everybody backing him up, right? Whatever was happening on King's Row was working for Uprising Academy. Bermuda, though, have obviously made some adjustments of their own, that grab from Guru notwithstanding, and now we find them ahead of Uprising Academy by a map on series point.
Once again, it's the lack of consistency from Uprising Academy finding themselves in trouble, right? It's the streakiness, holding on A on King's Row and then being held, granted on their second push, but even with more time available than you would get on your first push, right? And so now that we're going to be entering Junkertown, let's see if Uprising Academy will take a little bit more tempo away. Bermuda, I think, doing a really good thing here by holding up close. This is a good idea based on how the rest of this match, especially that last map, went. But Decod going to get that first kill onto Umte. The rest of Bermuda are going to follow, only taking about 20 seconds away on the clock. Uprising Academy will win the payload. Let's see when Bermuda engages again.
Feeding quite a bit of ultimate charge as well. To be fair, the tanks are, about neck and neck, but Klaus already has Rally and Dino at 72% to the trans. That's a pretty big advantage for Uprising Academy, whatever happens on these streets here. Bermuda, though, have bought themselves some time, so now they can come in here a little bit more measured.
That was pretty aggressive, the way that they walked in there up the stairs that way, and they're trying to separate Uprising Academy. A couple people trying to take the fight on the stairs, a couple people on the ground, but Bermuda themselves get separated instead and actually are investing this Earthshatter into this losing fight. Bermuda not looking like the team we just saw in Volskaya so far.
They've tasted victories so infrequently, they've forgotten how it feels to just dial it back a little bit, right? We could go in here super aggressive, man. Though, to be fair, their streets phase will be a lot more even, 3 ultimates on either side. But Uprising Academy, I like that, as hard as we went on them on Hanamura, they were not playing very well. But now we see, the markings of an experienced team. We're not going to allow that to affect us, right? The map was a map. We come in here, we play clean.
And so the Transcendence and Self-Destructs are out. Good displacement coming in from Uprising Academy, and Punk getting 2 kills with that Self-Destruct. Bermuda now gonna get team wiped.
Yeah, that's a feels bad. Uprising Academy, this is much more of, what we've gotten used to from their side. When they're hot, this is exactly how they win those fights, right? It might be by the book, but they execute to the letter. Great grab from Ice, all the follow-up present there for Uprising Academy, and now Bermuda themselves are like, where did point A go? If they blink, point B might just slip past them.
They need to find a defense here. This is one of the last defensible positions for them, and it's still pretty offensively favored. So Bermuda sticking up, putting up a fight right now. Sliver was on the payload trying to get that back cap, and Uprising Academy going to be getting 2 more kills, and so they're going to continue their winning streak when it comes to these fights, as Bermuda unable to win a single one so far, and that's why you're going to be seeing them finish streets phase with a massive time bake. But we're now entering what I like to consider like real Junkertown, right?
Exactly.
A lot of my favorite action in Overwatch ever has been on this 3rd point, going
man.
all the way back to the halt in the top left against Philadelphia Fusion in the finals during the Dragon Strike. And so let's see if this is going to ring true for Bermuda on the defense here.
I know exactly what moment you're talking about. That kind of goes to show how impactful the geometry of this 3rd point can be, as we see a face-off on the spin.
And so the Graviton Surge on the Fidget Spinner is not going to find any kills, but Dino did use that Transcendence. Pizza Demon still has his on the defensive side. Shu using that Self-Destruct doesn't get anybody, but there's still a Rally and Earthshatter available for Bermuda. Uprising Academy are going to lose their lead slowly but surely. They stay in this fight, and they're going to go ahead and reset here. I think Decod was already on the way back. They were ceding some space. Bermuda do finally take that fight, but Uprising Academy, because they made Bermuda invest so much into it, they find themselves at an ultimate advantage.
Exactly. I believe Iced got the ally bubble onto Decod, but it was burned down by the focus fire of Bermuda. However, they do find themselves lacking in those ultimates. Trans available for Pizza Demon, but just that. So you see, a very fast retreat by Bermuda.
Yeah, so Uprising Academy trying to use that speed to their advantage, but Bermuda have not been felled just yet. Shu is the Meg, going to try really hard to get back in there. These Money Blaster shots are going to be super important Guru going to go ahead and keep the Graviton Surge for now. Uprising Academy have taken down UMTE during this fight, but Bermuda are still in this thing. The ultimate weapon though going down. Let's see if they're going to invest any ultimates. I can't really, in this situation, we've seen them invest before, particularly Guru on that Graviton Surge, but this time around, smartly holds on to it. 3 minutes and 35 seconds left.
Exactly. If you get this cart around this very awkward portion, then Uprising Academy have to go the long way. You can't just cut corners by going underneath into the Mega Pack room. You have to go the long way, so Bermuda are just going to give up this real estate for free. However, OG now has that sound barrier to counter any potential shatters or grabs.
Oh, solo grab onto ice. That is going to be very, very useful. You might think that, hey, that didn't get 6 people, but it got a confirmed kill, and that's all that matters for Bermuda at the current time. They are going to find themselves in an advantageous spot for this fight as well, getting 2 more picks. Uprising Academy, I think that was the first fight they've lost this round. They've been continuing on the payload since it stopped right here, right before the end, but there's 2 minutes and 48 seconds left, and now that they're off, it's very hard to finish this map.
Exactly. You can either go for the sneak underneath the Mega and hole yourself up in a very dangerous place where Bermuda is essentially shooting fish in a barrel. Or you can take the high ground here. Uprising Academy trying to force Bermuda onto the low ground, and they do give that up.
So they're going to go ahead and give that up and use the rest of the rally to get onto the payload, but the rest of Bermuda are going to be able to come back into that death ball. It is going to be pretty weak. Sound Barrier is going to save those the only one actually that got earth shattered, but she also needed it to stay alive. She also has self-destruct. Looking on the other side, Ice and Punk are very close to that bigger bang combo. Bermuda much further away from theirs. They're going to need something from this earth shatter if they want to stop Uprising Academy right here. Good displacement, but UMTE unable to do anything with that earth shatter, even though Shield was out of the way. Good throughput damage. That was through the Transcendence healing on to OG, but it's still a 5v5. She able to make contact with Decod there. It is a 5v4 now for Uprising Academy. The spawns are going to be much better for Bermuda. Will Guru be able to make it back in time? Because without UMTE, it's going to not take very much for Uprising Academy to finish off this map, and Dino is going to start popping off with his support brethren, a swimmer. They are going to finish Junkertown. Bermuda needs to do the same.
Yeah, Bermuda. Whew, I mean, talk about streakiness for Uprising Academy. They finish out Junkertown with time left, and that's always going to be a feels good as a team, because now, since you've completed the map yourself, you can just play to wear away time, right? Hey, maybe that wasn't like the cleanest fight in the universe, but we bought 1.5 minutes.
It's easier to know which fights are good to lose, right? When you're reacting to the time bank, right? And so Uprising Academy now looking good, 1.5 minutes. That's a pretty good time here on Junkertown, as we've actually seen a lot of pushes get stopped on point A recently. Rialto kind of comes into play there. Bermuda now need to finish it off, and the way that this has been going, Uprising Academy, it might even just come down to map type at this point in time with these two teams, right? Just looking so much better, even though they looked really good on Hanamura. That first push, the second push did not, and so now coming back and being able to finish Junkertown after being held on point A on the last map is good news for Uprising Academy, and the way that this game has kind of brought itself out, Bermuda is on the back foot here for sure. It just seems to be one team owning the momentum the entire time.
Yeah, and they got to be keeping that in mind here, because Bermuda, while they are on match point right now, Uprising Academy, with the way that they played that attack, could easily snatch that torch away from them in a moment. We come down to a control, which, again, could be anybody's game. So Uprising Academy right here might be going for the cheeky spawn camp. Looks like they will, playing a little bit of the same style as Bermuda did, as many teams do here. Force them to remove you. Yeah, nobody saw that. But Ultimate Web sees that, and he already comes out with a preemptive Bastion. Decod,
he's the kid hiding behind the curtain with the feet underneath, right? Like they know exactly where they are. They're in a situation where they could actually, Uprising Academy could take, Bermuda could take advantage of where Uprising Academy were, and they're going to do just that. UMTE needs to survive this, as he's going to get a ton of ult charge and live, pushing Uprising Academy back. And at this point, Uprising Academy needs to make a decision. Do they just walk backwards now that they have this pick? It's going to be safer. Do they walk forwards and take some early space, even though the spawns are going to be back for Bermuda a little bit faster than themselves, and they're going to choose to stay on this payload for the time being, but now we're going to see them cede that space. Punk a little bit far behind, a little worrisome there, but in the end, Bermuda to take advantage of the payload, and now we're going to be entering our next fight.
Exactly. You see good move right here. They recognize that Guru wasn't in that fight. He had died really early, so that's most of your damage gone. Upchain throws the shatter into nothingness. Same for Decod. Now the trance comes out from Pizza Demon. This does mean, though, that Uprising Academy is going to have to beat a speedy retreat for the cheeky return grab.
Ooh, man, Pizza Demon not expecting Ice to have the grab at the ready, but at that point in time, they had lost a team fight already, so Ice was going to be closer than their Zarya, who has a grab, right? And so Uprising Academy do take advantage of the fact that Pizza Demon was a little early, not a little early, he was very early on that Transcendence, trying to get the team back onto the payload.
Yeah, but now that means that Bermuda will have a grab, and they're just going to use it. Okay.
Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and launch it, and that was a really great decision, knowing that Uprising Academy were not ready for that, and that's proven for this team wipe as they all die at the same time, but at least that means they all come back at the same time, too.
Yeah, Uprising Academy must be holding their horses for this very last defense. Swimmer and Dino were a couple of the first to fall, but no means meant that Uprising couldn't have reacted to that grab, but now they know what Bermuda have on the table. Simply a shatter and a self-destruct.
OG gonna get the armor pack, gonna get that displacement, and the Earthshatter gonna be going down. Displacement helping the opposing Ryan. It's gonna go even both ways. We saw Swimmer do that exact same thing on Legion Tower, but this time OG gonna be helping Decod with his Earthshatter. I'm taking to be played with. This is usually a fate only. No. Oh no, the charge stopped.
The rock.
Only meant by baby divas, but at least Reinhardt gets a taste of the pie, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's a bitter pie. Sour, rhubarb, no sugar.
Ugh. Did you know rhubarb, when they're not cooked, are apparently very poisonous?
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're chalky and hurt your mouth. Anyways, so Uprising Academy, they're not hurting just yet. They still have a couple of ultimates, and most importantly, bigger bang combo at the ready as, oh no, Guru gets caught on the corner. Rocks and Hut corners playing a big part of today's game.
Uptake going to be going down. Might have just walked off at that point in time, but he just fall off the edge. I didn't see displacement go down. Oh, and just for those at home who wonder why like the Divas or the Lucios will move right at the end when people are serving themselves up for the environment, is they get they get ult charge if they get credit for those kills. So if the boot makes contact, that's 10% in self-destruct.
Exactly, and all those little bits of percentage will add up. As Uprising Academy, 4 ultimates already online, Bermuda with 3, but it's not just about the numbers, but how you use them, as we see the big wraparound. This now might finally be the better route of engagement for Bermuda, but oh no.
No, it will not, HamTornado, as the Earthshatter is going to be enough for Uprising Academy, but with 13 seconds left, Bermuda might be able to make this interesting. They have the Zubiata to get to the payload.
Exactly. It's possible here, but it's not going to be a full 6-man push, especially with Ultima Web popping that rally. And so they will be Sansa Diva regardless. And oh no, you hate to see it.
OG starting overtime was the only way that they were able to do it, but Bermuda now only functioning with 4 members. The Zubiata comes in very, very late, so a couple of members of Bermuda already got taken down. Shu needs to find one of those quad kills, self-destructs, doesn't find anybody with that one. Uprising Academy have a self-destruct of their own, and if they need to just clean the payload up, that is exactly how they can do that. No kills so far, though, and Bermuda coming back with a couple kills of their own. The pin not going to make any difference. Umte's so low. The ally barrier just extended his life, but this is still looking like Uprising Academy holding on point A. We, my friends, are going to a map 5.
Possibly. They actually do have the reinforcements coming in for Bermuda. Remember, the Uprising Academy have much further defensive spawns, and with that D-Mega
totally
kill
right. Called
onto
that too early. Totally called that too early. HamTornado was a little overconfident there. Uprising Academy might have been the same thing as Bermuda actually going to be coming back on this match. Wow. Uprising Academy actually let them in. The spawns coming in to the equation here. HamTornado break that down, because I think not just me, a lot of people at home probably thought that that was it for Uprising Academy.
Oh, undoubtedly, it could have easily been it. I mean, Uprising Academy started playing a little bit, more sloppy. We started seeing that old Uprising that struggled on Hanamura. Bermuda, though, they are playing with their hands tied behind their back. Umte will have the shatter here, but Pizza Demon has a 76. It's going to be difficult to cut through all of the armor, but if it can, oh no!
Well, this is how the last one started. Okay, the fights are, this one's a little bit cleaner for Uprising Academy this time around, and Earthshatter will do that to you. Uprising wins. Now we're officially going to our map 5. That is 19 out of 20 maps today. And so let's see who's going to win it. And this one, Bermuda on tap, potentially to win their first map, first match, Uprising Academy. Really want to avoid those bottom 2 spots. A win here will definitely help their cause. But now map 5 is where it's going to be. And if you guys remember, it's always good to look at history at this point because we've played Control before. Bermuda won the last Control round, and it was pretty close actually at the beginning there. But this is kind of when the team started becoming super streaky, was halfway through Control. And so let's see who's going to have the hot hand coming into this round.
Well, you know, Uprising Academy, it was a 2-1, so they took Control Center. So it's still possible, depending on, you know, what maps we see come up first. It's still possible for Uprising Academy to take it. And again, you know, them not losing their cool towards that point A defense where we were all like, oh my God, Bermuda's totally going to, you know, take this in overtime. It, you know, kind of again shows that while they are very streaky, they have played a lot of professional Overwatch, right? They've seen crazy holds, they've seen crazy pushes, right? Nobody's getting, you know, too sweaty here in terms of their chances. So Uprising Academy, again, just keep the ship tight, right? When they're functioning as a whole, communicating, backing each other up, they look like an entirely different team from the one that, you know, got rolled over on Hanamura. Bermuda, for their credit, you know, again, when they look hot, you know, there were definitely some great plays coming through, but it feels almost more like Uprising Academy aren't performing to their level rather than Bermuda really taking it to them.
Interesting. I could definitely see, I definitely can see that side of things, right? But I think there's also the other side. Bermuda played much better last week, right? And so they're coming in here, and maybe that gave them the confidence that they needed to come in versus Uprising Academy and say, maybe we can actually win this thing. And they find themselves in a game 5, and so it's all going to come down to one map. It's going to be that game 5, and I'm so excited to see it between these two teams because they both have a lot to play for, right? The first victory, that first match win, and Uprising Academy are going to be looking pretty down in terms of those standings if they don't take this map, and they have got to do it. And I love when Nepal is our 5th map because it just lends itself to some of, like, I think the best action we see.
A lot of really juicy boops.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, Swimmer, a player known for, you know, that boop ability.
Offensive capability on that Lucio, right?
Exactly. But, I mean, here's the thing. Who do you think coming into this has that stronger mental backing, right? Is it better to play because you're afraid of losing, like Uprising Academy, and going down 1-5? Or do you feel more bolstered when you're playing for that first series win, as Bermuda is?
That's a really hard question, but I'm going to go ahead and say I'd rather be Uprising Academy in this situation. And the reasoning is because of my thoughts on Shanghai Dragons, right? Because they were so close into winning a game a couple times in that first season, right? Philadelphia Fusion twice in a game 5, Mayhem Academy in a game 5 last season. And so they didn't, you know, I think if history were to repeat itself, I think experience always wins. Not always, it usually wins in a game 5. Fusion University is a great example of that.
Yeah, and I would say that, you know, most people play harder to avoid the thing that they fear than to get the thing that they want. So, you never want to be the first team to lose to the Shanghai Dragons. Uprising Academy peeling out of spawn with that GOATS composition. And UMT already catching that first blood here, or first oil, as it is. Dino out of that fight, and oh no, Decod follows him shortly thereafter. So Bermuda, will history repeat itself here on Control? They take this first fight in dominant fashion.
You know, I'm pretty sure by the time, you know, the world of Overwatch did come through, we've gotten rid of our need of oil, right? So I'm pretty sure it's pretty all electronic.
Wait. But isn't there an advertisement for luxury oil on the body?
Oh, you're totally
right.
What would luxury oil be? Hey, this is map 5. Let's get some focus. Bermuda on Uprising Academy. Bermuda is up right now, 15% to nothing on Uprising Academy. First cap on Control does give you an inherent advantage, and now they're going to go ahead and take this fight on Uprising Academy, determining the tempo themselves. This is something that you can't really do on escort maps, and they're actually going to give Uprising Academy a little bit more back. It's been even so far. I think 3 on both sides, and see who's going to take this in the end. Self-Destruct is going to delay this a little bit more, but the delay is really good for Bermuda because during this time, that percentage is increasing for them as they do enter 40%. Uprising Academy looks like they reset.
Exactly. Trades for Bermuda are always going to favor them, whereas Uprising Academy must go for that full wipe. You can't flip the point if there are still members of Bermuda alive and ready to touch. We need to see a little bit more of that focus. We saw Guru trying to dive to get that health pack, but surprise, Punk and Swimmer beat him there, kill him immediately. So Uprising Academy got to strike hard, strike fast.
And so Ultimate Left going to go ahead and use that armor pack to keep his tanks alive during this fight. Damage mitigation is there. Uptake going to find a little bit more for that Earth Shatter. 2 on the ground. Decod going to get shield bashed as well. Tons of CC going on to Uprising Academy, including that Graviton Surge. But the counter grab is going to be coming out from Uprising Academy. This time around, Self-Destruct might land, but it does not. Bermuda using that Transcendence to full value, and now Uprising Academy unable to push through that. Pizza Demon's Trans is why you're seeing them win at this fight, and now at 83%. It's going to be close for Uprising Academy to come back on this point.
They have essentially one more shot to make things work, and they have no ultimates to speak of. Klaus is the closest, and Rally is not an all-out fight winner. Bermuda, they sense this. They're already here past the choke.
Oh, and it's going to work out for them. It's OG going to get a couple frags. Get the boop, get the melee as well. Bermuda in complete control. You can't get too overzealous here, but by the time Uprising Academy make it on to the objective, Bermuda should be able to have reset. Without OG, that means they're not going to be able to cede any space. They're going to have to win this fight outright. Uprising Academy making it very difficult for them to do it. Guru gets so close to that Graviton Surge. You're seeing that percentage grow up. Once you have that, that's going to be the lock, but you're going to see it right now. That's going to be the bow on the present for this round. 100-0 for Bermuda. Man, streaky. Streaky to the extreme of both of these teams.
Exactly. Uprising Academy, they had some hot moments, but again, could not get that ball rolling. They have such a hard time like just pushing through some of those chokes without losing a member. And Bermuda, I think they're finally starting to get to that point where they're like, I don't think Uprising has really anything. Let's just move forward. And boy, has it worked out for them, at least on Shrine. Sanctum, though, this is where both of these Lucios will be put to the test. I mean, Brigida's, Winston's, Zarya's even. You must not go searching for Mondada's gold.
Yeah, we've seen Zarya's launch themselves into the pit trying to hop away. But now let's see if the groups are going to happen. We tend to see the most environmental kills here. One thing also, for those of you in your ladder games, if you think there's a Winston, if you're a Diva, try to come right here. You can actually zoop the Winston off. We've seen it a couple times, but it was a little late on the Diva side, and that needs to be available for you to get there. Anyway, Pizza Demon going to be getting this first kill, so Bermuda going to find themselves first blood, but Swimmer going to get... I believe that was a boot kill. You hear the scream, and so that's going to be 5v5. Swimmer bringing his team right back into the thick of this fight. Let's see where the fight is going to take place. Is going to take place on the objective proper or on the stairwell. Looks like they're going to bring it to the objective, or at least Uptake's going to try, but Uprising Academy doesn't seem to bite just yet. They're going to try to burst him down, and because Bermuda didn't quite know exactly where this fight is, they get separated just a little bit, but Guru finding a kill on to the Zenyatta is going to be huge for them. They might be able to cap it because of it. Bermuda in control. Let's see if Uprising Academy are going to be able to find a little bit of that Junkertown magic this time around as well.
There's still some bodies here contesting, but alas, Swimmer's not going to be too much longer for this world. Actually manages to escape with his life, so some good movement right there from that Lucio. But Bermuda have, better than just a live Lucio. They got 4 ultimates, 5 nearly online for OG. So, even though Uprising Academy had a pretty good engagement there, losing Decod so early to that stun and deletion really hurt them in the long run. And now they got to burn through all of these ultimate fakes. Oh no!
Oh, that was an environmental kill for Decod, actually getting the hot credit for that one. And now Uprising Academy looking strong on the objective, giving about 30% over to Bermuda. It'll be 31 by the time they cap it. Uprising Academy also have a lot at their disposal to keep this for the time being.
Yeah, Bermuda allowed Uprising Academy to get the jump on them, literally. And hopefully the same fate will not befall Uprising Academy, because as long as they can continue to rotate these ultimates, they have the tools to hold on for quite a bit of time. Disruption will be the name of the game here, so Decod looking for some Primal Rage targets.
And so Decod going to be following his Winston counterpart on the other side, and he's going to find a little bit more value out of his Winston. Umte not going to be using the Primal Rage just yet. Is there? Oh, the boop is there. The hop cooldown wasn't quite there for Decod there. Uprising Academy now with 3 ultimates at their disposal, but one of them is back in spawn.
Not worth it for DCOD to prop Primal Rage just to save his life. Bermuda were forced all the way back into their spawn. So Uprising Academy will have a chance to defend as their full 6, although they will have to cede a little bit of space here. Ultimate Web getting rebuffed here. Pops the Primal, pops the Rally.
Umte always planning to use the Primal Rage there, seeing that he was taking all of that damage he needed to, and so he's going to go ahead and use it on at the point. They're going to look for those environmental kills. Sound barrier now coming through from Bermuda. They do have a slight advantage right now against Uprising Academy until Dino uses that Transcendence onto the point, but he has yet to do that. He hasn't needed to at all. So Cloud's going to be using the Rally instead. Bermuda unable to confirm any kills with that advantage they received from that sound barrier, but now they have the bigger big combo. Will it find real estate? The Reinhardt shield is not there. Shu going to find his third quad kill for Bermuda. Now they just have to clean it up. Uprising Academy needs to stall as long as possible. They will be getting to above 80%. Bermuda, though, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
you should feel proud of yourself.
Yeah, sure. I don't. Wow. Okay. Anyways, clip that. But Bermuda, they do manage to flip this point. But those clutch moments are not something that you can rely on. So they must, again, take a very proactive approach to this defense. Rally online, Transcendence is here. Umte hopefully going to get a little bit more value from his Primal this time around.
The Demon was able to get that Transcendence. Tom's going to be throwing out that self-destruct, getting that kill on Umte, who had Primal Rage. Might have actually needed to use it there to survive, but it's better to lose this and not survive and come back with Primal, or lose the fight anyway with Primal. But Bermuda still in this OG, taken very, very low, so close to that sound barrier. No support ultimates for them. Drew has that Graviton Surge. Dino has a Transcendence, though, so Bermuda doesn't have that opening. Shu is going to get Deem. That Guru trying to find that Deeps, does find that kill on it to Decap. This is still going back and forth between both of these teams, as Upte is going to come back with that Primal Rage and throw fisticuffs, my friends. Uprising Academy are going to go back to spawn. 84%. I think there is just enough time for Uprising Academy to come back.
They have one more bite at this apple, and Umte's answered our question. Much better to come back in here. Trust that your teammates will hold on to the fort until you arrive with your Primal Rage. Now Guru in that corner looking for a cheeky opening grab.
Yeah, Bermuda has to react to that attack onto the objective, as he's going to do exactly the same thing Umte does. Go onto the objective and use that Primal Rage, but DCOD unable to find any value out of that. You're seeing the Zarya bombs just rip through Uprising Academy.
Oh my goodness, Trans now used your bomb from Shu up in the air. Can he do it again? Not a miracle this time, but things still looking very good for Bermuda. Transcendence from Dino wearing down. Could this actually happen, folks? Bermuda's first ever series win on the line. However, Ultimate Web does go down. The bubble is on OG. That frog very close to that sound barrier, but close isn't going to be winning any series here.
Shu still somehow in at that neck, and Uprising Academy do look like they're going to be pulling this back, getting the second Graviton Surge, but Bermuda will be coming back with the Primal Rage of their own. Uprising Academy invested absolutely everything into that. Swimmer sound barrier needs to find a ton of value here. Bermuda with the Primal Rage. It doesn't matter if you're shielded when you're falling into the pit.
Exactly. That is going to be part of the win condition for Bermuda. DCOD and Umte just, saying hello, making eye contact. Yo, Winston things.
Okay, and so now we're going to see, but this last fight of this round is either Bermuda taking the match or Uprising Academy moving it to the distance. Uptake taken so low, but the sound barrier going to be saving him in at the end. He needs to find some kills onto Uprising Academy, as DCOD is going to also have the Primal Rage. The ally bubble is there. No kills just yet. Transcendence now coming from Dino. Will Pizza Demon be able to get his in time to save his friends? Yes, he will. His friends are going to be nice and alive. Shu is going to be coming in clutch. You don't need 4 all the time. Just the 1 is good enough for Bermuda here. Uprising Academy functioning with 1 less member. Bermuda now getting that 6v3. They're on the brink of their first match win ever in Contenders proper. Bermuda pushing Uprising Academy to Game 5 and then locking it up. Bermuda take the win.
Bermuda, against all odds, clinched the series against Uprising Academy, and holy cow! Oh man, I think we all just gotta, take a soak, a wipe down maybe, because I was sweating. Holy man, there were so many moments where it really could have gone either way. Primal Rage is just one of those things. It's like throwing a monkey into a washing machine, right? A lot of displacement, a lot of disruption, but Umte was able to make things work where Uprising Academy weren't able to find that value. And especially against those mirror comps, right? Those small moments will add up. congratulations, Bermuda.
Snaps to Bermuda, my friends. Good stuff. Getting your first win. You are on the board. That's one of the hardest things when you're coming in as that Path to Pro team. You qualified, I believe, in 3rd or 4th place coming in here into this group, and so well done. And you took down an academy team while doing it, who admittedly need to go back to the drawing board, because going down 1-5, we have XL2 kind of in the same situation on Wednesday. Going down to 1-5, I think matching 3 other teams is gonna be rough. I'm sure we'll get some of those standings a little bit later, but that was a wonderful game that we saw today.
Excellent moments from each side, and regardless of how streaky things were, when both Uprising Academy and Bermuda were functioning at their highest, we were able to see some quality Overwatch, some really good matchups, and some great plans and execution. I'm just really happy Bermuda finally able to find that first win in week 6. But hey, always better late than never. Some standout plays from all of those folks there. Main tank really showing up.
Look at today. Look at all those game 5s. Mayhem Academy, I guess, don't like patterns, because they were the only one not able to get to game 5, or at least Gladiators Legion's not the one that were able to push them to that game 5, but 19 maps in total today. Really good stuff. One from Montreal Rebellion Gods really showing up on that diva, but unfortunately Fusion University just can't seem to be beat. If they're going to be beat, I don't think it's going to be in a game 5, and so Chicken Contenders also taking second win in their new roster to a 5-game set as well, but second win, and their 5 ringers are going to come in and get that win. We saw Mayhem Academy play arguably some of their best Overwatch ever in like their 3 seasons of Contenders against Gladiators Legion, and we also saw Bermuda take the win, their first ever. Our little baby Contenders are growing up against Uprising Academy.
All around, some very good Overwatch that we've sampled today, but our teams have been battling it out all the way up until this point. If we take a look at the standings, Fusion University, with the only undefeated record of all of our teams here in Group A, still at the very top, Mayhem Academy following them in second.
And so that sets up our first place matchup coming into next week. So Mayhem Academy and Fusion University will both be playing each other next week. And looking at that map win-loss differential, that is 100% a number 1 seed play-in game. That'll be a banger, I'm so sure. But following it up, second win at 5-1. Doesn't matter who's on the team. At this point, I feel like I can play for them and still get a win in a Contenders.
Questionable.
1 hour of work, but that's not to, go under the fact that, this team, obviously there's some special magic there.
Yeah.
When the players are on there, something is happening, and someone's got to figure that out. Gladiators Legion in at 4th, like it perfectly in the middle at 3-3. But now this is the serious stuff. Chicken Contenders, Uprising Academy, Montreal Rebellion, and Bermuda all at risk of relegation here. Because of the map win-loss, I believe Uprising Academy have already faced Montreal Rebellion, and they did take that win. And so we'll verify that a little bit later. But Uprising Academy, as the only Academy team now in that bottom side, that's rough.
Feels bad, man. But here's the thing. Top 6 teams will advance. Only the bottom 2 will fall into relegation, so there's still some wiggle room, right? But it is cutting it very close at this point.
We still got some house cleaning to do, because we got to talk about the playoffs. Remember, each group on the playoffs play within their own group, so you're not going to see East and West cross over in a single bracket. Each one will have its own bracket, but we will get some crossover play, because whoever gets second in each of these tournaments will face each other for the last spot in the Invitational. And so Fusion University, Mayhem Academy trying to get that number 1 seed, trying to get that automatic entry by winning the tournament. They don't want to be second place in their tournament. Fusion University, already, the only team I think that's ever really beaten them have been British Hurricane. They've had to go away in terms of these invitationals to be beat. But this playoff bracket between these 2 teams next week might not be the first time, or might not be the last time, that we see these 2 teams meet.
Oh, undoubtedly, this is shaping up to be one of the strongest seasons of Contenders across the board that we've ever, tasted here in North America. A lot of parity between these teams, a lot of, these rankings separated by just a couple of maps. And even in those, knockout, drag out fights that maybe the scoreline doesn't 100% show, how difficult those wins were. So it could really, once we start talking about, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th spot, it still could be really anybody's game.
Man, still looking at that plus 15 for Mayhem Academy.
Oh,
that
boy.
is insane. That's going to be it for us. We saw a lot of